Guys, how's it going? Welcome to the live. Give me a second as I share the link. I just take a second. Guys, this is first YouTube live on the new account, the Elite Handyman 911 account. Love it if you would like and subscribe. That helps a ton. We'll have more on that in the future, but there's going to be some really cool stuff coming up, so you want to be in the know and do that little bell or whatever. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, and this is public, so in TTU group, you're seeing this live and you can communicate, but other people can join too. They can't get into our TTU group, but at least they can see the live. So, I had a job this morning. I'm trying to figure out where to put the phone so it doesn't fall over, because I need to eat too. Oh, I think that's good. I think it's going to stay there. If it falls down, sorry, I'll come get you. So this morning I had a job that when I got there, it was a job to unclog a drain. It was a vanity drain. It was clogged. I tried using compressed air first. It didn't work, so I used Power Snake. And the clog was actually in the main line. I got about 18 feet down to get the clog out, and I got it, and it was hair and it was dirt. I got it cleared, no problem. And I had looked around at the beginning when I got there, and something I noticed was they had an ice tray underneath the vanity, and it had some water in it. So I said to the guy, I said, "You have so you've had some sort of leak, huh?" And I looked at it, and it was a copper trap, and it had a plug in it that didn't look like it had any sealant. It looks like it had been chewed up a little bit by pliers a few times. So I said, it looks like maybe the cap hasn't sealed. Well, I'll do my best to seal that when I'm done, but I can't guarantee it because sometimes these things just don't seal right. He's like, "Oh, okay, well, as long as it doesn't get worse, that's okay." I was like, "All right, well, I'll do my best." But just to let you know, there's possibility I won't be able to seal it, and we'll have to go from there. He's like, "Yeah, I understand. So we get it all clean. I get the plug in, I seal it up, and I figure, God, it really is sealed up. And then it starts dripping. I'm like, huh. And I look at it, I'm like, geez, it's really interesting. I can't feel the water around the plug in the trap. But the water is definitely dripping down. And then I kind of look, and but behind the trap are three little pinholes. And those little pinholes are leaking water, and it's leaking probably 300 to 500% more than it did before I started. And the reasoning behind it, the theory is that there was dirt and gunk piled up inside the pipe and the trap. It kind of helped fill those holes. And now that I've cleaned that trap out and cleaned the drain line out, and it flows really well, there's nothing blocking those holes, and the water can come right through. Now, when I got the camera in behind there, I was able to get the phone camera in behind that trap. I could see the holes. I could see the corrosion where the copper had literally been eaten through three little pinholes, and the water was just weeping out. And it's near the bottom of the trap, very close to the plug. So, it's gonna leak until that trap empties or gets close to empty. So it's gonna leak probably a cup overnight, or probably a cup. If you fill the sink up once and let it leak out, it'd be like a cup, and it'd probably take, honestly, it's probably going to take 24 hours to leak out, maybe even longer. It drips about every 20 seconds. So I told him, I said, "Hey, the good news is we got everything, the clog cleared, everything flows, you can use your sink again, but we need to replace this trap." And it's a copper trap, it's sweated in there. So it's not the easiest, not the least expensive thing to do. Plus the parts, copper trap. We want to keep it copacetic with what the building is and keep that trap in place. Luckily, he had something else that he didn't mention until the end, that he had a problem with his shower valve. We're going to be able to take care of that at the same time, and it's really not going to be that big of a deal to make the trip out there to do both of those at the same time. So he's happy about it, but at the same time, he was a little miffed, and he was kind of like, "Why didn't it leak that much before? Did you do something?" And I was like, "Well, no." And I explained to him, Those holes were probably already there. The corrosion had eaten through the pipe already, but the dirt that was in the pipe was kind of keeping the leak at a minimum. So I think he understood, but at the same time, I could tell he was not very happy about it. Definitely um, a budget-minded individual that is trying to be really cautious with how they spend their money, which I think a lot of people are today. So, in the future, I need to be more clear about potential of what could happen um, during a drain cleanout, for instance, and other things. I mean, if you guys are doing work trying to, repair things in the house, handyman, I don't know if you're doing a floor or you're mounting things or doing, flat pack assembling furniture, you have to be really clear with the client on potential issues we might run into, anything that might alter the scope of what you're doing. A couple of you guys had seen the videos I put out with repairing the rotten wood of a door jamb. So originally that was the wood was a door jamb. That's all it really was a trim. But upon taking those pieces out, I could see that water had been getting into the frame under the threshold, rotted out the threshold from the bottom, and was getting into the house behind the wood subfloor. So I really wasn't clear with that client either. Luckily, they, it's really like inexpensive home. They understand. They want it done. They want it done right. And I said, "You want me to take care of all the water penetration, correct?" He said, "Yep." I said, "Okay, great. We have to replace the sill too, and the threshold, and the trim as well. And I'll cut out all the wood that has been water damaged." And he was fine with that. But again, it's better to tell them ahead of time what you might find when you start a job, and also document what's there. When I did the door job, I documented it along the way. Every time I pulled something up, I took a photo, I texted it to him. The client wasn't on site. I just let him know as I was going what I was finding, and he was fine with it. With the drain cleaning one that I did this morning, I did not document what was going on with that pipe before I cleaned the drain. I did not think to look behind it or determine where that original drip was coming from. I just assumed it was the plug in the bottom of the trap, which it was not. And if I had looked behind it and seen those pinholes where the water was actually leaking from, I would have been able to better prepare for the client for the fact that when I clean the drain, it could likely make that leak worse, and he may need to replace that trap. So that's one of those things we're always learning. I'm always learning. Overall, I think it's going to work out okay. But going forward, I'm going to be a little bit more careful and cautious to let people know, let the clients know ahead of time what I see. I'm going to document any existing issues and let them know potentials for other problems as I do the job that's requested. Hope you guys are having a great week. I know it's halfway through the week. Weekend's coming up. Finish it off well. Bye.